This episode is brought to you by Bureau, our title sponsor. With 8 vibrant locations in Miami's best neighborhoods, Bureau is the perfect co-working place to work, network, and thrive alongside other entrepreneurs, creatives, professionals, and local businesses. Find your space at bureaumiami.com.
We got Raimundo Onetto here with us. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
We're really excited to have you here.
Excited too.
Cool. This is your first podcast?
And no.
No? You've done other podcasts?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Claude lied to me.
Yeah.
The AI's told you it's his first one?
Yeah, the AI told me this is, I was like, hey, AI.
But this is the one special, I think. That's going to be special.
This is going to be the most special?
Yeah,
I
of
like
course.
that.
I like
the
that.
most important one.
Well, welcome. It's super great to have you here. I've been in Miami for 25 years and Alta developers. I've always heard you guys' name. You guys have done a ton of projects here, but I don't know how much you know about the podcast. This is an opportunity for us to get to know you a little bit, find out a little bit more about you, how you got started.
He's drinking Fiji, but we can cheers him anyway.
We can cheers him, right?
Yeah.
We're drinking tequila.
Yeah.
We drink rather regardless if our guests
What are you having?
a little tequila.
Nice.
You sure you don't want any?
No.
No.
That's fine.
He's Chilean. We should have brought wine, shouldn't we?
No, pisco.
Pisco.
Oh, wow.
Dang it. I should have known better. Do you drink Pisco?
No.
No? Well, welcome. Cheers.
Thank you guys for having me. Salud. You're from Brazil?
My parents are both Brazilian, yes. But I was born and raised here in New York.
Both of you?
No, I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, not Venezuela. You got to be careful here how fast you say that word.
You get picked for Venezuela all the time?
Yeah, dude, I got dark hair, dark skin.
We have some
Yeah,
Venezuelans in town.
Yeah, just a few.
couple. Yeah.
Well, cool. So you're from Chile.
From Chile, yes.
What part of Chile? Santiago?
Santiago.
Yeah.
Born in Santiago.
And how about your parents? Where are they originally from?
Born in Santiago too.
Born in Santiago.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit Italian. My last name is... I found a place, the town, in Italy last year
Colonetto.
called Onetto.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you got some Italian blood
it's
in you.
Liguria,
Okay.
in the area of Liguria, next to Portofino, and so I was able to find finally the town. So then the family town, nobody's there.
Yeah.
Of course. So I took a picture, and that's it.
Now you can raise your nose a little higher like the Argentinians, right? They all think they're more important because they're Italian. So there you go.
Be careful, my wife is Argentine.
Mine too.
Oh, shit.
Mine too.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I get to say that.
We got a bond here already.
Yeah.
So you're Spanish?
Estoy aprendiendo.
You have to.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah.
So your ancestry is Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's Italian.
And so your grandparents were born in Chile as well, or were they born in Italy?
No, in Chile.
In Chile as well,
Yeah, I
okay.
think, third generation.
Third generation.
Yes.
All right. And were your parents involved in real estate?
No?
No? What did they do?
Doctors.
They were doctors.
All doctors.
All doctors.
All doctors.
What kind of doctor was your dad?
Obstetric.
My dad was an obstetrician gynecologist as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
So
then all my uncles and everything was about medicine. Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right.
And I was the only one, the only architect in the family.
You didn't want to be a doctor growing up? No.
No. To be honest, I mean, from day one, I want to be an architect.
Siblings?
Yeah.
Doctors?
One doctor, one economist from Chicago, then another, business.
Gotcha.
Or 6 siblings.
6 siblings. You were number which one?
I was in the middle.
Okay. Middle child.
You were 6 siblings and you have 6 kids too, don't you?
Yeah,
Or no?
middle.
Yeah.
Middle child's always the hardest, right?
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
He's one of 6 and he has 6 kids.
Yeah, I know.
It's like history
Yeah.
repeating itself here.
Middle child's always the problem child, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The middle one?
Yeah.
No, but
It's the youngest, right?
the middle one, no one cares
No one
about
cares
it.
Everyone
about it.
forgets, yeah.
And that's good, by the way. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like being left alone.
No, yeah. You have to take care of yourself.
So your dad's a doctor.
He was a doctor.
Was a doctor.
Both passed away 92, 93 years old.
Okay.
Both. Since day one, I mean, once I finished college, we started with a couple of friends, architects also, our own practice.
When did you realize you wanted to be an architect?
Since I was
Since
5 years old.
5 years old.
I was, doing drawings in the desk at school.
Yeah.
I always loved art and architecture and.
What were you good at in school? What were your favorite subjects in school growing up?
Actually, math,
Yeah,
art.
that's kind of rare. That's
hated,
like
hated,
left brain,
biology
right brain.
and then
No biology.
language arts.
No. So you went to high school. You were into any sports at all in high school?
I was kind of little,
Yeah.
so I was just playing like tennis, and it was an English school.
You went to an English school.
Yeah, I was very English.
So it was a British school.
Caning.
Yeah.
A British school.
Oh,
Caning,
nice.
wow, that's hardcore.
Yeah. When you don't behave,
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the real deal right there, Ben.
At that time.
Yeah, that'll whip you into shape. Don't fuck around.
Like British. So they was known by great rugby players.
Oh, so did you play rugby as well or no?
Yeah, I have to. You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Rugby is big
I
in
was
Chile.
very little.
Yeah.
I was playing like a hooker.
Okay.
That's the name.
And then you went to college
In Santiago.
in Santiago, and you pursued an architecture degree.
Yeah.
You
5 years. Then you do a project, you graduate, and you start practicing.
Okay.
And you can sign right away. Not like here.
And what did you start designing?
I started designing additions, bathrooms for families, and it was hard time. It was in the middle of a crisis in Chile. So, but we decided to have our own practice from day one. So we're like 3 partners, 2 brothers, architects, and myself.
How did you guys meet, the brothers and you?
At school.
At school?
Yeah. One was going in 1 year before, and then the other one's in the same grade.
Did you have any like entrepreneurial tendencies in high school? Like, did you have any jobs or work? What did you do before?
During school, during college, during college, I started working for other architects from day one. I created also a company. I remember after one of the earthquakes in Chile, when all the coast was destroyed. So I said, wow, this is an opportunity here. So I partnered with an older architect that has a GC. I was practicing it was on a GC license. So I asked him, okay, why don't we have the contacts? We can rebuild a lot of houses in the coast, all destroyed. So, okay, that's it.
That's while you were in college?
That was when I was in college.
Okay.
Like 2 years before I graduated. Yeah.
So you had some you didn't necessarily want to go work for somebody. You wanted to do your own thing. Did your parents give you a hard time about that? Because a lot of doctors are used to paychecks.
As I told you before,
they were ignoring. They weren't paying attention.
They were 6.
They were like, "Oh, whatever, he's fine."
Raimundo, where's Raimundo?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because those parents that are used to doctors and W-2 income getting a paycheck, it's hard for them to understand entrepreneurship all the ways. It's not as pragmatic.
But you're right. Yeah.
But that's a big because straight out of school, that's a big risk to go straight into starting your own firm. So how would you? Were you able to,
after a couple of years, we established the firm.
How did you get business early on in those early days?
It's a little by little. You need to be very patient. I would say you need to pick the train. It's a cycle. At the end, it's a cycle. If you start working hard and be consistent, it's a cycle of approx 10 years.
Do you remember how you got some of those first clients?
Yeah, it was, and then friends, family,
then referrals,
then referrals,
bigger projects.
Yeah, so that was until one day I said to one of my partners, you know what? This is not growing enough. marry, 3 families, all marry. So we need to grow. We need to do something different. We can't keep doing like additions or a single family home because that. Man,
You got to design some real shit.
right.
Yeah.
We need to start. I mean, this getting serious.
Yeah.
How many years in was this?
That was like I said 5-6 years of, and it was rough. It was hard. At that point, I said, okay, you know what? I think we need to start developing something, or doing that. That was so we can be our own client.
Yeah. So, quick question about. So you grew up in Santiago. I've never been to Santiago. Have you been?
No, I haven't.
I hear it's a cool city. I would love to go there. I mean, it must be a wonderful city to grow up in.
It's a cool city. It's a new city.
Yeah.
Not like Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is totally different. Like there's like Italy, Spain. Santiago is American,
Oh, really?
100%.
Why do you say that?
Because the culture and the supermarkets.
A lot of KFCs.
Yeah.
Pizza Huts, 7-Elevens.
Dude, KFCs are everywhere in the world. I've seen them in Cambodia, like in the middle of nowhere. It's unbelievable.
You can tell the type of retail, the shopping malls, and the buildings, the architecture. It's not like Buenos Aires or
Oh, really?
other cities. Yes,
It's a much newer city than Buenos Aires.
It's a much newer city. And also where you live, it's not in near downtown. So
Yeah.
it's like Brickell. You have like Brickell.
Yeah. That's what it.
Yeah, it's like that's the feeling when you go to the office.
But Santiago is like, it sits near the mountains. You're not so far from the coast as well, right?
Yeah.
How far are you from the coast?
It's an hour.
That's it, an hour.
An hour you can be in the water, in the sea, and in 30 minutes you can be skiing in the mountains.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go skiing.
Right. You can see the ski centers from Santiago.
The water's cold as shit, though, right?
Chile.
Yeah, that's that Pacific Ocean. That's the real ocean.
It's like real ocean.
That's real ocean.
It burns your bones.
Yeah. But there's surfing there too, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I couldn't do that shit.
Yeah,
like
dry
cold,
suits,
cold
yeah.
surfing.
Yeah.
It just takes all the fun out of it.
Gnarly sharks, probably.
Yeah.
You know, Felipe, ever since we moved into Bureau, my productivity has been through the roof. I mean, I might actually be getting things done for once.
The energy at Bureau just makes work fun. Plus, with 8 locations across South Florida, from South Miami all the way to Hollywood, there's no excuse for not finding a spot to get your shit done, Ben.
And we're not alone. Over 500 local companies call Bureau home. Everything from creative agencies and real estate firms to tech startups, law firms, and media companies. It's a melting pot of brilliant people, and we don't include ourselves in that category.
We definitely don't include ourselves in that category. Bureau really has space for anyone, whether you're flying solo or have a team. There are suites starting at 100 square feet all the way up to 2,000 square feet. They also don't try to lock you into long-term agreements, and everything is month to month.
Let's not forget the important stuff either. The coffee is top tier, staff is incredible, and has a very entrepreneurial vibe. It's not just a workspace, it's a place where work actually gets done.
That's right, Ben. So if you want to level up your workday like we try to do every day, check out Bureau. You might even catch us sipping some espressos between podcast sessions.
Or tequila.
Definitely tequila.
Tell Bureau the Built World sent you, and you'll get 50% off your first month's membership. See you out there. Cheers.
Later.
So 5 years into starting your own practice, you guys have been eating shit for 5 years. How do you pivot to development?
Just one day I decided to put under contract a great site, a small site for 8 apartments, a condo.
Did you have any money?
0. Facing the street and the golf course. So I was able to build, the zoning was 5 stories. So I said to one of my partners, I said, you know what? I know this lady, I think she trusts me. I'm going to put the site under contract and we can do the project. It was just our first building. Do the project, pre-sell with a nice discount, like 4 units out of the 8. And with that money, buy the land. That's what we did.
How did you have to put any money up for deposits to put under contract?
No, just put it. It was like, I don't remember, 45 days.
45 days.
Yeah, no,
That's a short time frame to
45,
pre-sell 4 units.
Yeah, 45.
So you pre-sold 4 units in 45 days?
Yeah. So I sold one unit to my brother, 1 unit to me. But they were buying basically at cost. When you do a 25% discount, basically they're partners. So it was good. So the formula worked. And I hired the same architect that was in college that did this company to rebuild the houses in the coast. I hired that company to build the building. So we did it. Then that was the beginning. That was the beginning.
It was eight units.
8 units.
How long did it take you to build that?
It was like a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things
It was like small. And so that we did like, then the next one, the next one, the next one. Also, the practice in architecture was growing.
Oh, so you kept the same.
So it was, separate.
Got you.
And now the company, it's Archiplan, the name of the company. And you can look at it on the webpage.
They're a big company.
And that company, now I think we have like 50 or 60 architects.
Wow.
It's a big company.
And are you still a partner in that company?
I have 1%.
You have 1%? But you're a founder. You can claim you are a founder. Yeah.
1%.
That's cool.
I'm not going to say it.
That's awesome. And so
that's more or less was the story. So in 87, in 97, another crisis in Chile. There was no work. Very slow.
How old were you?
That was like 37.
How many kids at this point?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Does your wife work as well or no?
At that time, she was an architect. I have 3 wives.
3 wives?
Yes.
Not at the same time.
6 kids, 3 wives. No. So we decided instead of laying people from the office, we decided to open an firm, an office in Marbella, Spain. So we created Marbella Archiplan, Spain. We moved half of the office to Marbella, Spain, and start doing projects there.
Did you move to Marbella?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, but you didn't live there.
No, I didn't move.
You were still in Santiago.
One of my partners, Jaime, went back because I think he was for a couple of years back in Marbella. So he was running that office for 10 years after 2006, 7. So that was great experience. And I think that was one of the reasons that we decided to explore the Miami or the US market.
What kind of projects were you doing there?
Residential, mainly residential.
Smaller scale or like high rise?
No, it was big scales. Yeah, big
projects.
Big projects. Yeah.
Was it a lot different than developed?
Big projects in Africa, Marrakesh. We did some master plans in Dubai. That was so nice.
And where does that business come from? How do you source those deals?
Because we have a local partner, very great architect in Marbella. So he has some of the connections, and you start like always. Start growing and doing good projects, and they repeat clients, and that's why I think we decided to, maybe Miami it's a good place to start exploring.
So you come to Miami what year?
We start coming like in 2001. We came. The plan was we came like for an entire year just to know the market, and we stay in. I remember in Dadeland, we stay in Brickell, we stay in North Miami, we stay in South Beach, we stay in Ventura, we stay in every single trip we stay in different areas. But we didn't know anything about.
When was the first time you were ever in Miami? Your first trip to Miami? How old were you?
I was like 16.
16.
By myself.
By yourself. Why did you come to Miami?
Because I was visiting I was the end of, I think, 11th grade, where you do those trips.
Yeah.
With all the
high school?
Yeah, the high school trip.
Yeah. So what, it was like
I
Miami,
decided
Disney?
not to go with the class.
Okay.
So I came here to visit my oldest brother that was doing a master in Chicago.
Gotcha.
So I decided by myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to visit my brother. And then I went to New York by myself.
Cool.
And that was
Fun?
fun.
Yeah.
Scary.
What year is this?
It was scary.
What year is this?
It was like 78, 77.
77?
Mm-hmm.
I bet
Oh,
New York was
shit.
scary in 77.
We had what's his name on the podcast last week? Don Peebles. Were you
Don
at Were you
Peebles.
at Studio 54 with Don?
That was the spot.
That's where Don was hanging out. We got into it with Don at Studio 54. You were there, weren't you, Raimundo?
So I went to,
He can't confirm or deny.
No, you can't.
no. So after New York, I stayed in New York, like, and I don't remember, but 4 or 5 days. And then I came to Miami. But I don't remember where in Miami I stayed.
How long were you in Miami for?
Like a week or so. Crazy. Great.
But Miami left an impression on you. There was something. This was in the 70s, Miami. Yeah, I mean, there was not much going on here.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah. So,
No.
so what?
No, I don't think it was a good time for Miami.
No,
in
it
the
wasn't.
80s.
No. Well, the 80s were good for some people, I think. For the drug dealers,
Yeah.
they were great years.
Huh?
Yeah.
Amazing years, the best years.
Cocaine Cowboys.
Exactly.
Did you see that movie?
Oh yeah,
of course.
of course.
It's amazing.
Amazing, right?
Right. It was kind of like that.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
time.
the 80s were pretty crazy here in Miami. So you decide to come back to Miami. What year?
Yeah, so that was in 2001, during 2001, and then the like I said before, the first person that we met is Pedro Martin.
David Martin's dad,
Yes. So
and he at the time
we
was
became friends, very good friends. Like in 6 months, we became friends because every single trip we met Pedro. And
so Pedro at the time was the office director for Greenberg Traurig, right?
yeah,
How'd you guys get connected with Pedro? Through a friend?
through our attorney
Okay,
in Chile.
gotcha.
Yeah, he was a referral.
So Pedro, you meet Pedro. He rolls out the red carpet.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was great because he was like the first idea was to have an architectural practice here. Nothing with development.
You had done that in Marbella, and now you were like, oh, we can do the same thing in Miami.
But after 3-4 months with all the liabilities and it's a totally different practice. So we decided, you know what? No, let's move on to the dark side.
Development.
What makes it
Let's move to the other side of the table.
what makes it totally different here?
Because here you have architects for like each market or each product, and they do just architecture. In Chile, the practice is totally different. It's more comprehensive. It's global. You design a project from the napkin to everything. So it's totally different. You're really involved in every single aspect of a project.
And here it's more segmented.
Yeah. And all of them are best friends or very good friends, but they don't go to the job site.
Here.
The architects. Yeah, they design the building. They're like, that's it. I'm see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interior design. You do in Chile. When you're an architect, you design everything about an interior design, lighting, everything, landscape. You're involved. So that's the culture. That's what I learned, and that's how I see the practice of doing buildings.
So you really are more of a developer in Chile as an architect. You're doing everything.
Not designing.
That's what I mean. You're designing everything.
Involved in the
Yeah, yeah.
design of every project.
Every piece of it.
Every piece of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important. The result of that, it's totally different. It's amazing. When you have one great concept for a project, So that was good. So yeah, so after we came here, we decided, Pedro, we're thinking, I think we need to partner with a small developer that has, that knows, have some network. We can bring the equity, the capital from Chile, and we would like to start not doing projects. I remember not doing projects and I was totally wrong in the beach. So we decided to concentrate in in metro areas, like in core. But Miami growth is like that. No, it's Dadeland, it's Coral Gables, it's City of Miami. It's like a pockets that start growing, and at the end it's going to be all connected. So Pedro told me, you know what? I was thinking that I think it's time to
jump ship from law.
to start doing something. And they, at that time, they were, I think, they already started with a small building called Nautica in Miami Beach with David. I think David was finishing in practicing in Gainesville. So I said, okay, Pedro. So Pedro said, okay, let's do a partnership. And that's how we started. And we did a 50-50 partnership. That's why we started with an office at the Grimmer Torek building, 10 by 10.
Do you still own 1% of Terra or no?
Nah, a 10 by 10 office. We start building the team and hiring people. Bueno, and then Pedro put on the contract. I was in Chile, 2002. Put on the contract with the first project, Metropolis at Dadeland.
Oh yeah.
Because at that time, I think was they just finished the master plan for all the
For Dadeland.
The Dadeland. Charette was like so he found this site. We purchased that from Ricardo Glass, I remember, who's the owner of the Marriott. So that was the first project. So when we got the site, we have to move to Miami. So I came here only for 3 years for that project because all my kids were in Chile. I was divorced, just married, came back home. They said, you know what? They want to move to Miami.
So your wife said yes. Let's move to Miami.
My wife said yes, and yes, and I moved to Miami.
How many units was that deal? Do you remember?
400 units, 25 stories, condo.
That's a big first deal in Miami.
Seems like it wasn't that fun.
It was a big project.
Yeah.
Big project. But the market was amazing.
Yeah.
At that time. Yeah, we sold that building with Alicia Senior.
Alicia Severa.
Senior. Yeah. Very good friends. And no, it was crazy. Lines of people.
Wow.
What year was that? What year did the project deliver?
2003.
Oh yeah, you guys hit that time. That time that perfectly.
Yeah. The market was crazy from 2002. I think George started with the first one, I think in One Miami and
downtown.
And that was a nonstop until September 2006. In September 2006, we stopped the last project. We stopped it. So
How many projects did you and Pedro do together?
we did Metropolis. Then we bought the site in Quantum on the Bay.
Another tiny project.
728,
Yeah.
52 stories. Facina Bacon, Nichols Brosh, architects. It was Cervera was selling that project also.
And that was a frontier area back then,
And
too.
that, I mean, when we bought the land, everyone was saying,
You're crazy.
"You're crazy." Crazy. There was nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing there. But it was like a great site with a park in front, not renovated at that time. amazing views. So he said, this should work.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And at this point, is David's working with you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
David, was
he?
David. Yeah, well, David was part of at the beginning, almost from day one.
Was he doing a good job? You can tell us.
Yeah.
He was us?
No.
Yeah,
David's
you sure?
great. It's a machine.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to.
Crazy. He never stopped.
I know. It's incredible.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's incredible how many projects. So he was like that.
He was very young.
Yeah. Even at that age,
very young. So I think we have like 15 years at that time. How old is David now? And he's in the 45.
He's probably
50s?
I don't know. Probably late 40s, early 50s, right?
50s. So
Yeah.
it was like a 15 years old of difference. I'm 65.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it was different culture. And so we were like,
Yeah.
Right.
we're partners. So no, he's like
He's a beast.
the beast.
Yeah.
From day one. From day one. So it was good. I mean, we complement very well.
Yeah.
Because I was older and
You seem like you're a little more.
yeah. Less aggressive. We're bringing the money from Chile, basically a lot of money from Chile. From friends, from partners, from clients, So
you guys had established yourselves pretty well in Chile.
yeah.
And so after that, that validation, they're like,
yeah,
okay.
we started with Metropolis,
Yeah.
and Metropolis was great, and then we bought Quantum, then 900 Biscayne, another little project, crazy. Was that area was all parking.
There was nothing there.
Homeless people, unfortunately, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Was the American Airlines
Yeah.
arena there by then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we got the Freedom Tower. We designed the entire project. I remember with Revuelta and Chiterio. And I don't think we start selling, but in September 2006, we saw that the market was like not going well.
Softening.
And you guys didn't have anything in the ground. You guys didn't have anything to deliver.
No.
That's great.
So back then we decided to stop the project, and that was and then after like a year and a half, in 2008. Yeah. So 2008 we were half closing 900 Biscayne, and the other 250 missing in action. We call MIA. Like the airport?
Yeah.
Missing in action. Yeah. Great building, operations, beautiful, working, and half of them.
Unsold.
No, sold.
Oh, sold.
That building we sold it like 3 times.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. No, it was crazy times. But but they didn't come to the table. Not only that, so they also started to claim the deposit back with attorneys. Quantum was fine, just a little piece of the loan remaining, so it was fine. So we worked out a deal with the bank and the lenders, and we were able to lower the prices and start selling again. And that was up to 2010. My brain was dead after the crisis. So we decided to just split. And I was
Ben, you know what they say in real estate, if people don't know you, they're not doing business with you.
Exactly. That's why the Built World podcast works with top-of-mind public relations, because being a best-kept secret sure doesn't pay the bills.
Paula Uspa Abbott, the brains behind Top of Mind PR, is a former real estate journalist, so she knows exactly what makes the media pay attention.
And let's be real, getting in the press isn't just about bragging rights. It's about building credibility, landing deals, and making sure the right people know your name.
Whether it's top-tier media coverage, killer storytelling, or just making sure you're the one people think of first, Top of Mind PR has you covered.
Want to stand out? Hit up topofmind-pr.com or email info@topofmind-pr.com.
Because in real estate, if you're not visible, you're invisible.
And you guys built only condo product, right? Only for sale condo.
At that time, the multifamily didn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't exist. We didn't have any like residential buildings in Brickell. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that was the time when Brickell was
yeah, I mean,
built.
you really only started seeing things delivered in Brickell like 2005, right? It was the beginning.
Yeah, 2005. State.
Yeah. Before anyone was moving to Brickell. And
There was no. Yeah,
most of it was
just
condo. There
offices.
was some multifamily. Was there?
Just a little. There were like,
Yeah, there
that
wasn't
you
a-
can tell that was a multifamily.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like kind of projects that were basic.
Like Camden,
Yeah, that was like one of the
first multi.
one
Yeah.
of the first multi
Yeah.
in Brickell.
Yeah.
Nicer,
right. Yeah.
nicer.
Yeah.
With Pedro and they was only basically condos.
So you got through 07, just working through everything. 2010, you guys, or after that, you guys split up.
Yeah,
Do you-
2001 to finish selling the last unit, reselling the last unit in 100 Biscayne. We decided to split, and
Is that when you started Alta?
that's why. Yeah. So I remember, and I was like dead. So I was like, I don't know what to do. But one good friend told me, Raimundo, why do you think that's going to be different? Look at your life. It's like a ball, like a big ball. So why do you think that's going to change? Just relax. Don't think. Try to not to think. It's very difficult. We call it maquinear, like
Machining.
that little voice that tells you what are you going to do, what's going to happen, the market. I mean, it was tough times. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try. So I remember for 2 or 3 months, I was doing nothing.
Did you still own a piece of the architecture firm in Chile at this
Yeah.
time? So you still had income from the architecture firm, and
Yeah, but it wasn't about the income. It was about what are you going to do.
right.
But I didn't want to, what I was clear is I didn't want to continue what the type of deals and the structure with a lot of investors and a lot of people. And yeah, when things go right, everything is fine.
But when they don't, it's
But when now you have to do a lot of, you always need to show that, and give the information and be transparent. And that was being always my rule. So that worked, and that was fine. But I decided, okay, not to do anything until I got a call from one of the largest companies in Chile. I mean, developers, builders, developers, huge.
Or are they?
They were like Aconcagua,
I've heard of them.
huge, big. So the president and CEO called me. We were clients. So as an architect.
Yep.
And for years. So now he asked me, Raimundo, what's going on? Miami, blah, blah, blah. I think this is the right time to start investing in Miami. What about you? He asked me. What's going on? I go, it's a big company. So he said, okay, let's do a 50-50 deal. And we start buying some deals and land. That's how we started with AXA. That was the name.
AXA.
Archiplan X Aconcagua. After 1 month, we received a letter from AXA. That's why we changed it to Alta, like Alta.
And so what did you guys buy? What was your first deal?
So the first deal was in Doral. And we partnered with Pedro and David.
Oh, that's funny. Full circle.
That's awesome.
Friends, we were just working together, so we co-developed.
You brought the deal to them?
I don't remember.
You can take credit. They're not here.
Yeah, they're not here.
No.
We'll give you credit. You guys brought the deal to them.
Because one of my partners, Patricio, was involved, I think, with one of the owners of the land. I don't remember. Maybe it was Pedro, David.
Okay.
But that was Doral K. That was a townhouse project. 140 units, or was great. Very successful.
Was it rentals or was it
No,
apartments?
condos.
Condos. Yeah.
Everything was good.
Surface parking?
Surface parking.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, townhouses.
Yeah.
And then we bought another site, Nevita, for 80 single-family homes and another 140 townhouses. That one didn't go well because the Venezuelan market disappeared from the round at that time. And it goes from crazy sales to zero.
So what happened there?
So that was the last project with, as a partners with Pedro and David. And then we took over the project after years. And we finished the project as Alta. And that was the last story with them. And I think the first project was Le Parc in Brickell.
Yep.
The park, and then we did the Aton Hotel at that time.
Are those connected, those two buildings?
No, they're not connected.
But they look like they're connected.
Same
right?
architect.
Okay.
With Revuelta was the architect, but they're not connected. Kind of the same partners
Got it.
that owns the hotel and the park, but they're not connected. So that was the beginning.
Le Parc.
The park.
And what year was that? 2011?
12.
12?
Yeah. 12.
And what was with Alta, what was your focus? I mean, what kind of sites were you looking for? Were you just continue to do more condo? Because you clearly weren't scared of up and coming areas with Quadro.
You always need to, watch the market. And at that time, like after Le Parc, we bought the site in Quadro, that the design district.
Was that from Kobe Karp? He owned that site?
Channel 10 was the Channel 10 was
right. I think Kobe did it at one point.
The wife's car. Was
his wife.
His wife.
Yeah, it was under her name.
His wife.
I remember being a young broker and clicking around on the property appraiser site and finding out that they owned that site. I remember back then.
Yeah, it was a tough negotiation.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But we got it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it. But at that time, we started exploring with a New York company, Greystone, the multifamily side. And we didn't know anything about multifamily.
Gray Star or Greystone?
Greystone.
Okay.
Greystone. There are Fannie Mae lenders in New York.
Got it.
So they decided to start developing here in Miami, and they were not local. So we somehow got connected, and we developed the Mile. That was the first one. 120 units, 15 units, multi.
Where was that?
Civic construction. It was right before Douglas.
Okay.
Coral and Douglas. So it's still city of Miami.
But going back to Quadro, you built half of that project condo and half of it short-term rentals, right?
No, that's another story.
That's another story?
Yeah.
Where'd the short-term rentals come from?
The rentals?
Yeah, the short-term rentals.
Well, let me tell you.
Okay.
So with the Mile, that's why we start learning about the multifamily business. It's incredible in business, real estate business in the U.S. It's huge. Then we did 2,500 Biscayne with the same group. And we learned everything about multifamily. And so we're like, okay, open to keep doing multi and condos, depending on the market.
Was that project a pain in the ass with that historic preservation thing you had to do on
Yes.
the corner? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Robert Behar project,
Yeah.
great friend. But yeah, that was a pain in the ass. The approval for that took forever.
What was that building before that they made you preserve?
Don't remember.
It's,
It was an historic building,
Right.
abandoned.
Oh,
Right.
that's a cool
do
project.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, what a pain in the ass, but it turned out really well.
Yeah. But just, kept the
Just the facade.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of the red roof
that,
shade.
Yeah.
that's the only thing that you need to.
Yeah.
So funny.
So funny, yeah.
That's a cool
Yeah.
building, though.
The historic board. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine.
Biscayne Boulevard.
So-
At least it wasn't
Yes.
Mimo.
Yeah.
So I think after that, we bought the site in Fort Cuadro for 3,900 Biscayne. And we started, designing, I don't remember, hotel, condo. Then we did another one for, I don't know, it was a big retail component and some condos. And the market wasn't, clear enough to tell you what you need to build there. So we started brainstorming and designing different concepts. And at the end, we decided, okay, you know what? We're going to do a big retail space on the ground floor and high-end multifamily. High-end. Like, at that time, we're planning to, the underwriting was like over $3.
Crazy back then.
This is like 20. What year is this? 2012 or so?
No,
Yeah.
later, like 15.
Yeah, like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Crazy. So
$3 rents was like,
so-
you're
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah.
You're nuts.
Get out of here.
But we did it.
Yeah.
And we start leasing. Great rents, higher than that. And the project was amazing.
By the way, where was the design district in
Because the design is what I did there is I hired a good friend, architect, crazy artist from Chile. I said to him, okay, you know what, Francisco, here's a project. I want to connect with art and installations, the design district with Cuadro.
it wasn't built yet, was it? Was it done? The design district? It was kind of like finished.
It was starting,
okay, starting.
more than starting.
Okay.
So, but I wanted the connection for the
Of
benefit
course.
of the project. So that's why it's Cuadro Design District. I got another letter from Craig Robbins.
Oh boy.
I bet.
So the building was finished.
Yeah.
When the building was finished, we were renting, and I got the letter saying that, you know what, you can use Miami Design District. It's part of your name. But because of the art and what you did there and the concept of what you did there, we're willing to incorporate the project as a part of the tour that they at that time they did. Because of that,
That's cool.
we spent a lot of money with this artist, and we create this murals,
The metal.
the metal,
Yeah.
the
The waves. Yeah.
the fins, so it's crazy, and every single floor is different, and it was a concept that we put together, all inspired on the sea, basically. We were leasing, and then city of Miami decided to kind of regulate short-term use.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't exist at that time. So they decided to modify the code, and then they said that we can build a project as a short-term, the entire building in certain areas with some conditions, like have a front desk and some few conditions. So I said to my partners, okay, you know what? This the rental high-end, but I think if we convert this to a condo and we offer this short-term concept, they can buy a unit and it's going to be paid by itself.
Like a condo hotel.
So we do the condo conversion. No condo hotel.
But it's like that concept, right?
Yeah,
Similar.
We did the condo conversion, put the marketing, created the name, and Cuadro, we hired Fortune. That was in January, and we launched a project just about to do a great party. COVID.
Oh.
2 weeks,
No party.
no party. Which actually we canceled the party.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. So we start start selling with Zoom, with the new selling.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard.
Sure.
It was hard. So at that time, we said, you know what? Let's furnish an entire floor so we can test the short-term market. So we can tell the people and the buyers how much they're gonna get for the rental per night. And we created a company. It's called Nomada Residence, to manage those 12 units at the beginning, and to offer the clients, then to offer the buyers the whole package. You buy a unit, we manage it, we charge you just 20%, we take care of everything. It was a different company, so you can buy a unit, here's the mortgage, fine.
Who furnishes it? You guys or the buyers?
Actually, my wife, Karina, she's an interior designer. She created all the different concepts, because in Airbnb, every unit is a listing. So every unit needs to be different. So you can't have the same furniture and accessories and artwork in all the 12 units. So that's why she created like 6-7 different packages with different wallpapers,
Yeah,
and concepts and names, so that every unit looks different in the Airbnb platform. So that's how we sold entire. I mean, after COVID, we sold the entire building with that concept.
you keep marrying architects. How many architects have you been married to?
Architects?
Yeah,
No, just one.
just one. I thought it was 3.
No.
No, it's interesting. You're on that trend early. I mean, I worked for a company called Sonder. You know that company?
Really?
In 2016, I was.
You know the story?
They hired me to launch Florida, so I was the first employee in Florida.
Wow.
So
Didn't we met?
I don't know, maybe on the phone.
Maybe.
I don't know. So I know the game well, very well.
Yeah.
But you were one of the first guys to do it. I think one of the really smart things that you did that most people don't understand is how many units is Quadro? 181, 182?
No, it's 188.
188? You have 62 units in one tower, and then the other one.
It was like half and half, more or less.
So having the units segregated, I think, is the key, because people get upset when you have short-term rentals in the same building that people live in long-term. But having it in the separate tower, I think, is really smart.
Yeah, but we learned that. We learned that you can combine the two uses.
You can't. It drives people. They don't want to see luggage in the lobby. That's the big complaint.
And we did that. We tested the market in 2500 Biscayne. That was 180 something or 174 units. And we subleased to another company. And they were like, please give me 20 units. We need 20 units. We need to do the short term.
They had all that VC money burning a hole in their pocket. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they said, you know what? Yeah, okay. We were like, lease up. You have half of the building empty. Yeah, that's.
Why not?
Why not? 20.
Boom.
Disaster.
People hated it.
Disaster.
Yeah.
So that's what we learned, that you can't. So Quadro, once we decided to sell the units as a short term, with a short term use, the entire building was like that.
Yeah.
Not half and half. No, it was
Oh, the whole building has short
the
term.
whole building.
Okay.
Both towers.
I thought it was just the one tower.
No, both towers. Both towers were same concept, same thing.
I think the important thing is setting expectations up front, that's what you're getting into. That's where people get pissed off, is they think they're coming into a residential building and there's people partying at the pool and drinking and smoking. And it's like, I didn't sign up to live in a hotel.
And thanks God we created this company. Now this company is a big company. It's
Nomada?
Yeah. And I think we're managing like close to 500 units.
All in Miami?
Yeah. The only building that we owned at that time was Quad. So we're managing 72 Park. There's a list, some buildings for related, because we have the expertise.
It's a great name, by the way.
It's totally different. People then developers don't realize what do you need.
Well, it's a hospitality
As
company.
part of the,
Yeah.
it's like having a hotel with 200 different owners.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But once you learn, like everything, it is working. It is working very good.
And I saw you partnered with Related on Paraíso, on One Paraíso.
Yeah. I think at that time they already acquired like 3 pieces on that area. And we were able to buy the lot in the water.
Okay.
And there was a street in the middle. So we got a call from George and saying that why don't we just partner and put in all the lots together and close the street and give the park to the city and exchange it for, so it was a big deal. But we said, you know what, we can partner, but just on One Paraíso. That's what we did. So we were partners on that one.
I was one of the brokers that assembled the 22 houses from the village, the drug rehab center. And we sold that to Related.
I think they were buying for a long time.
Yeah. It was, that area is,
trying to put together and assemble.
You've been really on the frontier of Edgewater, like from day one, really.
From day one.
Yeah.
Great project, great partners. It was a big project for us. So it's after that we partnered and we did the Casabella project that we're finishing now.
Where's Casabella? Is that on the beach?
No, Biscayne 14.
Biscayne 14. Okay. Is that right next to the Arch Center?
Yeah.
Got it. That's that old office building that you demolished.
Yeah.
So that's where my offices for Sonder were, was in that old office building.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So we're connected.
No, it's very nice to see it go down. It was a disgusting building. But that's where our offices were for Sonder, was in that office building. Yeah. That's Casabella. Because it used to be called Aria, right? That project was initially.
No, it was Auberge.
Auberge, that's right. Auberge.
Auberge.
Aria is mellow. Okay.
But you guys have a shitload of things in the pipeline right now. You guys have, looks like 7 or 8 projects.
Yeah, the philosophy of the company is we like to keep like 10 to 12 projects at the same time, maximum. Because for me, the projects are like childs or babies. You need to take care of them. So when you have like 25 projects, you can control.
Right.
We a very efficient team. I think we are like 25 people, and that's it. For a long time, they've been there at the office for years. So we work like a family, but really take care of every single detail of each project. So that's the philosophy behind. And because I'm an architect, I'm obsessed with design, with details, with layouts, and so I think that's a big difference on our company.
There was something interesting. It's building multifamily these days is really tough. It's really tough to make deals pencil. The rents aren't growing as fast. Construction costs are higher. And I think you've done it with 2 projects where you've pivoted from multifamily to condo. Is that a strategy that you've...
Yeah, like I said, you always be watching the market. Where's the market going? So sometimes you have a site like in Cuadro that we can decide to build a multi or a condo,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to see which one is going to work better. So yeah, we had a lot of sites in pipeline and building design as a multi, but when the condo market started again, it opens a window. So some of the sites were able to, you know what, let's redesign it and build a condo.
Do you basically start from scratch on the redesign, or where does that... Is it more of the finishes?
No. There's more than finishes. You need to, like in Casia, for example, that's in Coral Gables, that was a multi-family with more units.
Okay.
It was 220 units. Smaller units. So I said, I don't know what. Coral Gables, I think they need more like bigger units, larger 2s, 3s,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's more of a family market.
Family market.
Yeah.
So we decided to reduce the number of the density on the building to 174. So that was a big redesign, and
Cheap architect bills.
yeah, and and of course the finishes are different.
Little change order here.
Yeah.
We need to spend more money in condos, and we also decided there to partner with RH.
Yeah. Very cool.
So we contacted RH, and he said, "You know what? We've never done this before." So we've been working with them, Cray Company.
And are they co-branding it at all, or is it just?
No, they're super difficult to.
Oh yeah. To do that,
They're very jealous.
they want some royalties.
They need control. They don't allow.
And now you
Have they done any branded residences?
No,
RH.
no.
It's kind of surprising with where the trends are.
We name it, and we in that project. We're furnishing all the units with them, all the common areas, so the entire building is RH. Entire building. They have like a special division for this type of project. They do hotels, they do that kind of similar projects, but this was like the first one.
That's cool.
The first one. So and for the market,
It's perfect.
all the brokers can talk about that,
Mm-hmm.
and no issues. The only thing you can do, okay, Casa by RH,
Right.
like we're doing Casabella by B&B Italia. I mean,
Right.
it's that was the only no way. They don't do marketing. They don't do marketing. They just print catalogs.
They don't need to.
I was in Milan last week
At the design show.
at the design show, at the inauguration of the Palazzo. They did an incredible job.
I'm sure.
5 stories, beautiful gardens. The Italians are crazy.
Yeah.
The Italians say, "What? No way!"
That's
so
awesome.
funny. That's funny. The 1,500 people in the party. No, they can't tell you the level of design, sophistication, details,
What was the coolest thing you saw?
everything.
What's the one thing that stood out to you?
It's just how I think they did a great job combining the culture, the old culture, the Italian culture, like Rome with contemporary design. So all the artwork, like incredible old pieces with a sofa, I mean, like
Yeah.
a brand new modern sofa, lighting, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
You're an architect by training, so you see all these design elements. Like,
Yeah.
how involved are
I
you?
mean, I believe in power of design.
Yeah.
And the power of design in a project
It's huge.
is huge.
Yeah.
It's not about
It's
spending
huge.
the money. It's about having
It's
this
huge.
intention.
So I really care what we're building and selling, because a building is going to stay there forever. So you need to be responsible. You need to. I mean, I always say, the rendering that you see is nothing compared to reality. I'm going to deliver a better product than the rendering that you're seeing now as a buyer. And that's what we're doing. And that's the philosophy of the company. And they said, and they don't allow me to go to the job sites. in the
They don't
office.
allow you? No.
It's just restricted. Why?
The project will never get finished.
No. But I always try to have it better.
Yeah.
Get something, because materials. These are projects that last 2-3 years, a year and a half in design.
Yep.
You put together the concept with the interior designer, the architect, and then everything change, and you start construction another 2 years. And so it's been like 3 years, and now you have been totally different materials. I mean, every single detail, exhaust, the thermostat, hardware, everything is different now. So that's why it's my constant battle with myself and the cost.
Yeah. There's always that.
So
How involved are you in the design? Are you into everything? Like,
100%.
Yeah.
120.
120%.
He's an architect. He can't help himself.
The good thing is that they're friends. They're friends. They're well. Robert Behard, and MSA, Jose Somel, all the artists that we work with, they're very good friends and they're very open because we talk the same language. So we don't send comments on an email. I send sketches
Yeah.
because we know what we want.
Right.
We know exactly what we want, what we're selling. So layouts, and for me, layouts is one of the critical pieces of a project, and because people are going to be living there, so they need to understand how they're going to use it, what materials, what smell, what lighting, and so in every single project, yeah, it's
You go deep.
super deep, super deep.
I heard you're a cyclist. You like to ride your bike?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Sometimes.
yeah. Lately, it's like hurting a little bit. Yeah, but I try to do some
Some biking?
training a couple of days a week with the trainer that goes home. We play tennis once a week with friends.
Pickleball, right?
Double.
No pickleball.
What is that?
Good. He can come on anytime. He can come on anytime to the podcast. Good.
Paddle.
Good
Felipe
man.
loves pickleball.
Paddle.
Padel too? Or
Paddle.
padel?
Paddle tennis.
Yeah, that's what you play too? Oh, no.
That's fun.
Yeah, is it?
That's real.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Try it.
Not convinced.
Try.
Have you played beach tennis?
No.
Oh, that's real. That's real. I'm going to invite you to the beach tennis court.
We're gonna have like a Built World
Yeah.
Beach tennis club going if you can help it.
Do they have women in bikinis playing padel? They do?
I don't know.
Yeah. So beach tennis. Far superior.
Far superior.
You're building in Hollywood too, right?
Yes, sir.
And Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gaia.
Gaia in Hollywood. And that's on the beach?
No, that's right next to the circle.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it's in front of the great site.
Yeah.
It's in front of the just renovated golf course.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We're
Yeah.
like on top of the golf course. And that's an amazing project that we're selling to. The target there was like why don't we try to create a condo project for normal people, just normal people.
And who's buying?
They're not buying.
They're not buying?
No, there's a reason why. I mean, because of this type of project, you need to, of course, pre-sell, and all the pre-sales are always investors from Colombia, Mexico, Brazil. I mean, you name it.
Latin Americans.
Latin Americans,
Yeah.
a lot of them. So that's how you start creating the momentum. And once you get the construction loan and the 45 or 50% of sales, you can start building. But the idea then is to, work with the deposit structures. There's a lot of programs that they can get so they can buy a unit. And we're selling for $800 a square feet. You see the finishes on the project, you can't believe it. It's an amazing. It's almost 2 acres of amenities. I mean, it's an incredible pool deck, water features, facing the golf course. All the interiors are connected with the exteriors, with the nature, Gaia. For that value, it's an amazing proposition.
But you started pre-sales already.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
start presenting. We did an incredible sales gallery in the circle, and we already have like 10%, and we're going to be doing condo and contracts very soon. But that's it's 2 phases, 238 units each phase, and we're also going to have an EB5 program. You name it, all together. But at the end, our goal is to have local buyers, because you have a lot of people running out of the old buildings where they're getting big assessments that they can't afford.
Right.
So here you have the opportunity to buy a unit for just 500,000, get a mortgage, 80%, 85%, move to a new building, great amenities, great views. Hollywood is growing like crazy. So we're selling growth
Yeah.
also.
I think the Hollywood market is great. I've always liked it.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's so well located. You're by the beach. You're between both airports.
But people doesn't know about Hollywood yet. It's like remember when 2 or 3 years ago they started like developers started building or pre-selling condos in Pompano? There was nothing in Pompano.
Yeah, but I would take Hollywood over Pompano any day.
Yeah, but now after 3 years, Pompano is a great market,
Yeah, I haven't been up there in a long time.
huge market
Yeah,
for condos,
Yeah.
luxury. So it's the main concept that we have in Gaia. We have like 135 projects in Miami. I mean, West Palm Beach down. The half of them is sold. 50%, the average of the 50% left is $2.5 million per year. So it's not for normal people. So that's what we're trying to do there.
Trying to solve for that.
Yeah. And it makes sense. What was the last reasonable project built as a condo on that price range?
No idea.
15 years. Yeah. A lot of time.
I don't think reasonable and Miami are really in the same sentence.
So you're into cooking too and
Yeah.
grilling.
Grilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like? What kind of meat do you like to cook?
Any meat.
Any meat?
Any meat.
Asados.
Asados.
Yeah. What-
Argentinian. Argentinians, even Chile cook. We also do a lot of grills, like every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
You got a nice setup at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You do all the grilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are your favorite cuts?
Vacío
Yeah.
and the
Entraña.
the skirt steak, yes. But we always do like skirt steak. It's like a selection.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mollejas? You like mollejas?
Mollejas also.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
They're like,
I love mollejas.
Yeah.
Sausages?
always.
Yeah.
Choripan.
Choripan. The blood sausage
The
too, or no?
staple.
You do blood sausages?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
What
do
do they call it? Morcillos or something?
Morcillas?
Morcilla.
Yeah,
Morcillas.
morcillas.
The Argentines say morcillas.
Merstich.
Yeah. That's the problem.
So you learn
I'm learning
Argentinian.
with the accent. Yeah, I can't help it.
So you like the morcillas?
Yeah, I'll eat
I
them.
said,
Yeah.
say pollo.
Pollo.
Posh.
For sure, of course.
I have
I know.
to.
We've
If I don't say it, I get in trouble.
we've lost him. We lost him a long time ago to the dark side.
Would you ever retire?
No.
No. You love it.
It's my passion. I can't retire. I can't retire.
Is there a dream project that you've had on your mind that you haven't been able to build yet?
I had it when I was in Chile. I need to build something, imagine back then,
Yeah.
for like more than 60 stories. We did 900 Biscayne.
How tall was that one?
67?
Are you going to go higher now? 80?
No.
No. 67's fine.
No. You need to be very careful with large projects.
Yeah. It gets expensive.
And this market comes and goes. I mean, you
Yep.
never know.
Yep.
There's no explanation. You can be selling a project, stop sales for 6 months, and then start selling again with no reason.
You've always been kind of on the cutting edge of new neighborhoods. I see Hollywood. I see Fort Lauderdale. Anything else? Any other
Oh,
markets?
no, actually, for Loyola, we bought that piece of land like 2 years ago. Waiting, like you said, I mean, it was the deals didn't pencil out. The underwriting wasn't looking good, so we decided to wait. The market was on multifamily was like dead with the rates, and we were like waiting and waiting and waiting for and they always knew that the market always come back.
You guys are building multifamily in Fort Lauderdale?
So we're starting with that project. Like we already have the permit, and then we're starting in June, July. That's a big 400 unit, 35 stories, New River. And that's a new pocket, again, in Fort Lauderdale, south of the river. So we're waiting to see how the market was. They just finished a couple of multi there, and the renting crazy. Like,
Wow.
all New Yorkers,
Of course.
out of
Fucking
state,
New Yorkers.
all out of state, and
Yeah.
And what are the rents now? Because we
So-
talked about $3 rents at Quadro being crazy. What are we
that's
at?
gonna be $450.
$450
In Fort Lauderdale.
in
Yeah.
Lauderdale.
We haven't shit on Fort Lauderdale in a while.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
gonna be
Right.
$450.
Can you believe that? 450 in Fort Lauderdale.
To live in a second-class citizen market.
I know. It's not even. They live in America, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. So that one we're gonna start now, and we're building another one in Sunset, under construction also, 300 units.
Where in Sunset Harbor?
South of Miami.
Oh, South Miami.
Oh, at the Sunset Shops?
Not
no.
in the Sunset Shops.
Okay, but right.
On the west US one, across the street of the City Hall.
Got it.
Okay.
That's
Great
a
market.
Great market.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
No.
You guys close to the Metro Rail station there too?
Like
Oh,
100 meters.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a good one. And also, we kind of created like a new division in Alta, like to build more affordable. They're not affordable projects,
Workforce?
like not workforce, but it's more down to earth. And we bought a big piece, yeah, like 3 years ago again, in Princeton,
That's south.
new market. That was also a new market. I think back then was like only a couple of multifamilies,
There's a ton down there now.
and now it's
It's a lot of tax credit deals
huge.
too,
Huge.
right? Like a lot of affordable housing projects down there.
They combine. Yeah, Related have some. We've never done affordable housing project with credits, and we always, target for market rents. So that's another project that's under construction. It's a new system, new type of design, standardized. I have those are like 600 units, 2 phases, only designed with one type of kitchen, 1 bathroom. It's a totally different concept where we put together like modules. It doesn't look like modules,
Oh.
but if you want a 1 bedroom, the section of the living dining kitchen is the same for every single unit. Then the master is another module. Then the 3 bedrooms, and you add another one. So it's
Are they
so
prefab or?
it's a different. It's all concrete.
Okay.
The forms are pre-designed,
Okay.
built for the project. So it's like a factory.
Makes it more.
It's
more efficient.
super efficient, and it's working really well. The cost is very efficient, so we're gonna be able to rent the decent rent rate. So that's another one under construction. So
Cool.
busy.
You're staying busy.
We're staying busy.
It's awesome.
Staying busy and looking for new deals.
What kind of new deals are you looking for?
Hopefully, garden style.
Garden
Yeah,
style?
Surface parking.
So that's why I made the surface parking comment earlier.
Surface parking.
I know how
garden
that goes.
style.
I know. No, you try to build pedestal today, you need $5 rents. It's nuts.
It is.
Yeah. Awesome.
It is.
Well, if anybody has any surface parking deals out there, send them to Raimundo.
Yeah, please.
We'll take 3% on that too, right, Ben?
Yeah,
right.
okay.
For referral.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
We'll
No
be
problem.
generous.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, Raimundo, thanks for joining us today, man. It was great to hear your story. and get
Thank
to
you
know
for the invitation.
Yeah, thanks, Raimundo. It was awesome talking to you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you.